it's Eva coming at you from a different angle in my very work in progress filming room. And in this video, we're going to talk about ways to hack your stash. And what I mean by that is how to get new use out of makeup products, in this video specifically eyeshadows, that you bought and maybe looked great when you swatched them, and then you got them home and tried them on and you realized that color is way too bright, or way too sparkly, or maybe it's a nice neutral color, but it's too cool or too warm for you and you can't get it to work on your complexion. Before you declutter, I'd like to share with you my favorite tricks for getting use out of these colors. Let's start off with this orange shade that I love. This is Inglot's Matte 361, but let's start here so I can show you what I'm talking about. This is so orange. It's a beautiful color, but I just don't have the lifestyle currently to rock this kind of orange shadow. So what I like to do to tone it down a little bit is to add some brown to it, just right on top of the color. So let's say that I want to maintain this sort of mid-tone and I want to maintain the warmth, but I just want to mellow it out a little bit. In that case, I would use a color like MAC's Soft Brown. This is a brown with quite a bit of warmth and orange in it. Okay, so as you can see, this is the original orange shade, and this is the Inglot shade with just 2 swipes of MAC's Soft Brown on top of it. We've maintained the tone, but we've calmed the color down quite a bit. This is now a beautiful crease color, or an outer V color. I would even put this on the lids and just buff it out in the crease. Let's say you want to keep the mid-tone level, but you want to cool the color down a little bit. Well, then I would go for a more neutral brown. This is Urban Decay's Naked. And this is a mid-tone, what I would call neutral brown. So pretty similar to the soft brown, but using a more neutral brown neutralizes the warmth in this quite a bit, cools it down enough that it's not as warm as it used to be. I'm going to show you what happens when I put a lighter brown on top of this mid-tone orange. This is MAC's Bamboo. Okay, and there is Bamboo. So when I apply Bamboo, which is a lighter shade, it tones down both the orangeness and just the overall shade of the color. This is now a much lighter color that you could definitely use as a lid color. That's actually really pretty as a lid color. Okay, and the last one I want to show you is using MAC's Copperplate. Now this is like my greatest tragedy in makeup. I love this color. I would buy every sweater in this color, but it's just too cool tone for me, and I just have so much trouble making it work with my complexion and with the other colors I'm using it with. But once I started playing around with it like this, I found a way to really make it work. So I've now applied just 1 pass of Copperplate. So Copperplate is, I would call, a darker shade, like mid to dark. But applying it over another color is going to bring that whole color darker. So as you can see, Copperplate is darker than the other shades we've been playing with. And because the orange is so warm, it almost turns it into a dark purple, which I love in the outer V. So let's go through all the colors again. So this is just the plain Inglot orange, and this is how we changed it with MAC's Soft Brown, Urban Decay's Naked, MAC's Bamboo, and MAC's Copperplate. So now, from a color that I wasn't sure I was going to get use out of, I now have 4 really gorgeous and wearable shades to work with. Fun, right? Way that you can translate this to any colors you use. I happen to have started with a mid-tone shade. If you had started with a very light, bright shade, you might want to use lighter toned shadows to neutralize them. Okay, so that's how I like to play with matte colors, and this is how I like to play with really sparkly, shimmery shades. This is MAC's Mythology. Now this is another warm mid-tone shade. Clearly I like these shades. It's just has a lot of shimmer for my liking. I love it for a nighttime look, but I have a toddler and I work from home, so I don't get out as much as I would like, which means I don't get as much use out of this color that I really love as I would like to. So here I have 5 swatches of Mythology. So I'm going to do exactly what I did before and apply matte shades on top of it. So what happens is when you apply a matte shade on top of a sparkly shade, you really dampen the shimmer and give it kind of a satin finish. I think it looks really lit from within. You definitely see the shimmer coming through, but it's much more subtle, much easier to wear for daytime. So let's use the same colors. And I'm gonna go light to dark. So let's start with MAC's Bamboo. And I'm going to apply that. I'll leave the first one as our control. So this is Bamboo. This is the color on its own, and this is Bamboo. And again, as you've seen with the last color, it softens both the color and the shimmer. Now, Bamboo is the lighter shade, so it has lightened up the color as well as toning down that shimmer. But I think you should be able to see that there is a bit of shimmer still coming through the color that is so pretty on the lid. Now let's do soft brown. I generally like to put soft brown on top of Mythology, but we'll see if I change my mind once I see all these colors next to each other. So here is soft brown on top of Mythology, here's Bamboo on top of Mythology, and here's Mythology. You can see the sparkle in Mythology, and you can still see a bit of, like I said, satin finish on these two, but the tone has changed a bit. So we haven't really changed the depth of color as much as we did with Bamboo, but we've toned it down a little bit. And again, I think this is a gorgeous, gorgeous color, both for the lid and the crease. All right, let's cool it down a little bit. We're gonna go back in with Urban Decay's Naked. So this is a cooler shade, and it's gonna tone the color down again, as well as toning down the shimmer. So this is Naked, and it's much cooler than these others, as you can see. Really, really pretty. Ooh, that is a gorgeous crease color. I'm getting all sorts of ideas for how to wear these shades. Okay, and the last one is Copperplate, my beloved Copperplate. Let's see what that does to this shade. So here is Copperplate on top of Mythology. Gorgeous, gorgeous shade for the outer V. Really pretty. Again, like with the orange shade, it almost gives a hint of purple. Definitely cools down Mythology quite a bit. Doesn't make it cool toned, but I would say it makes it a bit more neutral. I would recommend, if you're doing this at home, play with it on your arm first so you can really get the tone. And if you put on something like a darker shade, like a Copperplate, and you're like, oh, that just took away all of the color and I want some of that back, just keep applying. You can, if you're using a brush, dip your brush in both of them. Keep applying layers until you get the exact tone you want, and then try to remember it so that you can recreate it on your eyes. Okay, now really quickly, let me show you how I like to apply these. I am going to apply this sparkly shade, Mythology, one of my absolute favorites. And I'm gonna use the MAC 239. This is a dense, small shader brush, and a lot of people like to use this for the lids, and they say it's really great for packing on the color, and they don't tell you why. Well, the reason why is because it's a pretty firm brush, which means that you get the color where you want it, and it doesn't go raining all down your eye. So I'm going to put quite a bit of this color on my lid so you can really see what I'm doing, and I'm just going to take it up just into the crease. Okay, now I have Mythology just on my lids, and now I'm going to go in with my MAC 217, which is a fluffy brush. And that's a bit bigger than the 239. You can see these next to each other. So I'm going to go in with soft brown. So I'm going to apply soft brown first all over the lid, and then I'm going to bring that up into the crease. So the soft brown is going to turn into my crease color. And when you apply a light coat of soft brown over the shimmer, you can still see the shimmer come through, but it creates really a seamless transition between the shimmery shade and the matte shade. I'm gonna show you both eyes here before I continue. So let me just do the other eye really quickly. Okay, now if I were going to go out with this, I would spend a lot more time buffing this out. But I think you get a sense of what this looks like. There you have it. I would love to hear your suggestions for how to hack your stash below, or any requests you have for future videos. If you want to see darker eyeshadow shades or blushes or lipsticks or nail polish, I'm happy to do it. Thanks for watching. Bye.